Welcome to the first episode of Training for Triathlon. My name is Jack and I'm training for my first half-ironman this summer. But before we get into what my training looks like right now, I think it's useful to understand my fitness journey so far. Growing up, I've always been an active kid, and like most lads, football meant everything to me. I'd play it before school, at school, during my lunch break, and then after school. But when COVID hit, games were cancelled, schools were closed, and I wanted to keep fit, and so I took up running. Fast forward to when I became 18 and I'd been running consistently for 3 years and I no longer played football. I would run 3 to 4 times a week, about 30 to 40k each week. And during this time, I completed many 10Ks with a PB of 36 minutes and 51 seconds. In 2024, and still 18 years old, I decided to take my running journey a step further and completed my first ever marathon. I put in a solid 20 weeks of training, consistent, dedicated, hard work, day after day, and I ran the marathon in a time of 2 hours, 53 minutes and 34 seconds. This was by far the hardest and most difficult thing I'd ever done, physically and mentally, but it was just so rewarding. I learned so much about myself in this process. Following running my marathon, you always have that thought, what's next? And I wasn't too sure at that moment in time, but I was eager to maintain the fitness that I built during this period. And so I returned to running a little too eagerly and ended up picking up an injury called plantar fasciitis. This basically ruined any sort of productive running for the rest of the year and meant I ended up trying to take up cycling in hopes of retaining as much fitness as possible. Following taking up cycling, it really sparked my interest in triathlon, and that's when I started swimming at the start of November 2024. And after a few months of swimming, biking and getting back into running, that brings us to now, January 2025. Whilst my injury is still a lot better, I know it's not quite right and not fully recovered, and so I'm still doing strength training and mobility work about 3 times a week in hopes of letting it fully heal over, as I know I have many imbalances and weaknesses around my ankle and feet. Like I say, for the past 3 months or so, I've been swimming, cycling and running twice a week. Nothing crazy, nothing really long duration or really high intensity, just consistently showing up, and I've really enjoyed it so far. But as my injury begins to heal, I'm ready for my next challenge. And so, with 2025 just started, what are my goals for this year? Well, like I say, I plan on completing a half-ironman this summer. I haven't got a race lined up, but I do have a few potentially in mind. And with anything, it's hard not to have a time in mind. I'd be extremely happy to complete it in under 5 hours and 30 minutes. And if I don't get it this time around, I'm certain that I will be able to do it. I know I have a good running background, and that is definitely my strongest discipline. And so focusing on the swim and bike is going to be very important, as these are where the greatest improvements are going to come from. Nonetheless, starting swimming and cycling have been really enjoyable. Picking up a new skill in swimming is something that is very humbling but very rewarding at the same time. I mean, there's middle-aged overweight men that are flying past me in the pool, and I have so much respect for them because they're just so efficient in the water, and here's me just surviving basically. But nonetheless, I have made significant improvements already, just over swimming for about 2 to 3 months. So some stuff will be on the screen now, but I'm really unhappy with the improvements that I've got so far, but I'm determined to obviously keep them coming as quick as they are. Showing up consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year is what really counts. I am truly invested in triathlon, and I'm so determined to push myself to my full potential. I know I have so much to improve, and so this is just the start of the journey. In the past, I often overcommit and I go all in, and I end up basically running myself into a ground, quite literally. I run through injuries, fatigue, tiredness, just general misery, and I end up falling out of love with the sport that I do. However, swimming, biking and running has just given me just brilliant structure. Swimming, cycling, running twice a week so far has been really manageable, and I don't get sick or tired or overtrained in one of them at all, provided I sleep well and I eat some good food. So, to start documenting my journey, these are my baseline metrics. For the swim, at the start of December, I completed a 400 meter max effort, and this was done in 7 minutes and 15 seconds, which equated to a 1 minute and 49 second 100 meter pace. And then I also completed a 200 meter max effort in 3 minutes and 26 seconds, which was the equivalent of a 1 minute 43 per 100 meter pace. However, as of today, January the 21st, 2025, I did a swim workout, which is about 6 weeks ago from these previous metrics that I just mentioned. And within my swim workout, I completed 400 meters, and this was done at a 1 minute and 46 seconds 100 meter pace, which meant I completed it in 7 minutes and 2 seconds. And as part of the same workout, I also completed a 200 meter in 3 minutes and 23 seconds, which again was at about a 1 minute and 43 second per 100 meter pace. Like I said, this was all part of a swim session, which in total I covered 2.5 kilometers, and these efforts were nowhere near maximal effort. And so I think that already shows that I managed to improve my efficiency so much already just within 6 weeks. As for the bike, I recently did a 20-minute FTP test on my new indoor trainer. This is going to be a game changer for getting some tough but really good indoor hard workouts in, where I can obviously work at higher power outputs without getting interrupted by traffic or weather conditions. So over the 20 minutes, I averaged 225 watts, which when you times it by 0.9 to work out your FTP, gives me an FTP of 202.5 watts. I'll admit, I'm pretty disappointed as I see loads of other people on Strava clocking so much higher power outputs than me. I am, however, only 55 kilograms, and so my power to weight ratio for this FTP was about 3.7 watts per kg, which makes it seem a little bit better. However, I definitely want to increase this. And finally, the running. Whilst I haven't really been doing any hard run intervals, like I said at the start of December, I did complete a 30-minute time trial for this. And during this, I covered 8.42 kilometers, which meant I ran the 30 minutes at an average pace of 3 minutes and 34 seconds per kilometer. So these are our starting points. I'm excited to document my journey and the progress I make from this. Like I say, I've already seen some really positive improvements in my swimming. That's probably just down to technique, and that's what I'm realizing so far is swimming is so technique orientated. It is also, you have to be efficient. Practicing that movement in the water is the only way you're going to get better at it. And so just like anything, staying consistent is where you see the gains over time. So through documenting my journey, I hope to provide you with some useful tips of what I learned on the way to training for my first ever half-ironman, and who knows what I could then go on to next. I also think it'll be really cool to obviously document this and look back on how far I've come. Like I say, already 6 weeks have passed and I look back and I've already seen some great improvements. And so I can't wait to see what this looks like in another 6, 12, 18 weeks, and hopefully for the next year. So that's it for the first episode. I know it's not really an exciting one, but I think it's a really necessary one just for you guys to see where I'm at, where I'm coming from. I'm no superhuman athlete who's been training for 5-10 years with some outrageous genetics. However, with consistent, hard, dedicated work and showing up day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, who knows what you could achieve. And so I'm excited for the journey ahead, and I hope you are too. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.